You'll need to move to the basement, dear, just for a little while, of course. My mother said this easily, like she was talking about the weather. I stood in my kitchen, my own kitchen, in my own house, holding my coffee mug so tight I thought it would break. I'm Sarah Reed, and this was the moment I finally had enough after 5 years of being everyone's doormat. The basement isn't finished, I said calmly, using the quiet voice I'd learned since my parents moved in. There's no heat down there. Oh, don't be so dramatic, Mom said, waving her hand. She adjusted the fancy watch she still wore, even though she said she was broke. You're young and single. My sister Emily needs the master bedroom for the baby. They'll be here for at least a month, maybe longer if the little one gets used to it. My father didn't even look up from his newspaper. Your sister is starting a family, Sarah. It's different when you have real responsibilities. The usual sharp words from them made my coffee taste bitter. I watched Mom move my fruit bowl around. She'd been fixing my things since they moved in. I thought about the email in my secret folder, the one that said my house was sold to Mr. Evans, closing in just 5 days. When are they arriving? I asked, already knowing the answer would make things even better. Saturday morning. I told them to come early so we can get everyone settled before the welcome dinner, Mom beamed. I've invited the whole family. It'll be wonderful to finally use this house for a proper gathering. I almost laughed. Saturday? Perfect timing. And you're sure the basement is the only option? I kept my voice neutral. What about the guest room? Don't be silly, Mom scoffed. Emily's husband, Tom, needs somewhere to set up his computer. He can't take baby leave forever, you know. Besides, you're hardly ever home anyway, always at that computer job of yours. I took another sip of coffee to hide my face. 5 years of this. 5 years of them treating my home like their own hotel, judging my life choices, and making me feel like a temporary renter in my own space. Sarah, Dad finally looked up, your mother is waiting for an answer. I put down my mug and pulled out my phone, pretending to check my calendar. Sure, the basement is fine, whatever makes Emily comfortable. Mom's face lit up with surprise, probably because I hadn't argued. Oh, wonderful. I knew you'd understand. You've always been so practical. She made it sound like an insult. I'll start moving my things today, I said, heading for the stairs. Wouldn't want to cause any trouble. That's the spirit, Mom called after me. Oh, and dear, could you clean out your closet too? Emily mentioned bringing her whole wardrobe, and you know how picky she is about her clothes. I stopped on the stairs, thinking about the moving trucks I'd already booked, about the lease I'd signed on a small apartment downtown, about the look on their faces in 5 days when they realized their perfect plan was about to fall apart. Of course, Mom, you'll get exactly what you want, I smiled sweetly, just not the way you think. Upstairs in my room for just 5 more days, I pulled out my phone and texted my friend, Lisa. They took the bait. Operation Basement just started. She replied instantly, "Oh my God, they didn't? Please tell me you're recording all of this." I looked at the small camera I'd hidden on my bookshelf weeks ago, its tiny red light blinking steadily. Every second, I typed back, can't wait for them to explain to the new owner why they're planning a family dinner in his house. Looking around my room, I saw the measuring tape Mom had left on my dresser earlier. She'd already been in here planning Emily's takeover. Their sense of ownership was shocking. My phone buzzed again. This time it was an email from Mr. Evans. Final check confirmed for Friday at 2 p.m. Keys and papers Saturday at 9 a.m. sharp. I saved the email and took a deep breath, enjoying the moment. They thought they were setting up another power play, another way to remind me that my life, my space, and my choices would always come second to everyone else's needs. But this time, I had planned everything. This time, what goes around was about to come around. I heard Mom downstairs, probably already planning where to put Emily's things. 5 days, I whispered to myself. 5 days until they learn what happens when you push someone too far. Remember when they first showed up? Lisa asked, helping me secretly pack another box of books. They came with just 2 suitcases, saying it would only be for a month. I laughed sadly, taping up the box and marking it donate so my parents wouldn't suspect. How could I forget? Dad was crying about the bad investment, and Mom kept saying they just needed time to sort out their money. 5 years rent-free is one heck of a sorting out, Lisa mumbled, pulling more books from my shelf. The memory of that rainy night came back. Dad standing on my porch, his proud shoulders finally slumped in defeat. Just until we get back on our feet, sweetheart. 3 months tops, Mom added. We'd never ask if we had any other choice. I'd believed them. God help me, I'd actually believed them. You know what the worst part was? I said, checking my bedroom door was still closed. They never even thanked me. Not once in 5 years. Tell me about the first warning sign, Lisa prompted, knowing I needed to talk about it. 3 weeks in, I had a date with this guy, Mark. Mom stopped me as I was getting ready, asking if I really thought going out was right when the family was in trouble. She made me feel so selfish for having a life while they were struggling. And you canceled? Of course I canceled. Then it became a pattern. Every time I had plans, there was some emergency. Dad needed help with job applications. Mom was too stressed to cook. The Wi-Fi needed upgrading for their job searches. I shook my head. Except Dad never actually looked for work. And Mom spent her days watching TV and moving things around in my kitchen. My phone buzzed. A text from Mom. Honey, could you pick up some special coffee? The regular stuff upsets my stomach. And maybe some nice cheese for the welcome dinner? Your father's been wanting that expensive cheese. Lisa read over my shoulder and snorted. Still spending your money like water, I see? You should see my credit card statement. Last month, they charged $800 at the fancy grocery store. Didn't even ask first. How did you keep this secret for so long? Lisa gestured at the boxes we'd been sneaking out to her garage for weeks. They never paid attention to my actual life. Too busy planning Emily's baby shower, or judging my career choices, or telling everyone how generous they were to help me keep up such a big house, I said, copying Mom's talking down tone. A knock at my bedroom door made us freeze. Sarah, it was Dad. Your mother wants to know if you've started clearing space in your closet yet. Emily just called. She's bringing more things than we thought. Working on it now, I called back, hearing his footsteps leave. Lisa waited until we were sure he was gone. Speaking of Emily, have you told her anything? No point. She's Mom's perfect mini-me. When I complained about them missing rent again last year, she said I was being petty. They're our parents, Sarah. You can't expect them to pay rent like regular renters. Bet she'll sing a different tune on Saturday, Lisa's eyes sparkled. What time is that welcome dinner supposed to start? 6 p.m. Mom's invited every relative who can drive here. Meanwhile, Mr. Evans gets his keys at 9 a.m. sharp. I couldn't help but smile a little. Should be an interesting day. Sarah, Mom's voice floated up the stairs. Don't forget we need to clear your bathroom, too. Emily will need all the counter space for the baby supplies. Lisa raised an eyebrow. You know they're going to lose their minds when they find out, right? This isn't going to be a smooth ending. Nothing about this family has ever been smooth, I replied, sealing another box. 5 years of tricks, guilt trips, and treating me like their personal ATM? They can handle one day of chaos. My phone buzzed again. This time it was an email from the moving company, confirming Friday's appointment. Everything had to be timed perfectly. Get my stuff out before the final check, keep the family busy, and let the big news drop at exactly the right moment. I should feel bad, I said quietly, but all I feel is tired. So tired of being the responsible one, the practical one, the one who always has to give up something. Lisa squeezed my shoulder. You gave them 5 years. They gave you nothing but disrespect. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do is let people face the results of their actions. Another knock, more urgent this time. Sarah, are you going to get that coffee? And we need to talk about the sleeping arrangements in the basement. Your father thinks we should move some of your furniture down there to make space for Emily's baby furniture upstairs. I looked at Lisa and mouthed, 5 more days. She grinned and whispered back, 5 days until the payback comes, collecting 5 years of overdue rent. Emily swept into my house like a storm, baby carrier in one hand, fancy diaper bag in the other. Oh my God, Sarah, your front yard needs so much work. Have you thought about hiring someone to take care of the plants? Behind her, Tom mouthed sorry while carrying 3 suitcases. I helped him with the bags, and he gave me a thankful smile. The guest room is upstairs, first door on the, I started. Oh no, Mom interrupted, rushing forward to hug Emily. We've arranged for them to have the master bedroom, much better for a young family. Emily beamed. Perfect. Tom, honey, take everything up there and be careful with my skincare bag. Those lotions are worth more than your laptop. I watched them climb the stairs, remembering how many extra hours I'd worked to afford the down payment on this house. Now I was being sent to the basement while they divided up my space like they owned it. Sarah, Tom's voice drifted down, where should I put the baby's portable bed? Before I could answer, Mom called up. Use Sarah's reading spot by the window. She never uses it anyway, always working on that computer. I gritted my teeth and headed to the kitchen to start dinner. Mom had asked me to cook for everyone tonight, saying Emily needed rest after their 3-hour drive. The guest room is awfully small, Emily announced, following me. How do you expect Tom to set up his computer in there? He could use the dining room, I suggested, knowing it wouldn't matter in a few days. Don't be silly, Mom joined in. That's where we're having the welcome dinner. 30 people are coming, Sarah. We need that space. I nearly dropped the pan I was holding. 30 people. Well, everyone wants to meet the baby, Emily said, as if it was perfectly normal to invite 30 people to someone else's house without asking. Oh, and Aunt Carol might stay the weekend. She's driving in from out of state. The sound of furniture being dragged across my bedroom floor echoed from upstairs. Mom must have noticed my expression because she quickly added, "Don't worry, dear. We'll handle all the plans. You just need to help with the cooking and maybe pick up some extra groceries and wine." Lots of wine, Emily added. Good stuff, not that cheap brand you usually buy. I stirred the pasta sauce with more force than needed. Anything else? Actually, Mom began, but Tom appeared in the doorway, looking uncomfortable. Sarah, could we talk for a minute? He asked quietly. I followed him into the living room, leaving Mom and Emily to complain about my kitchen setup. Tom ran a hand through his hair, clearly struggling with what to say. Look, I know this is a lot, he started, and the way they're just taking over your space. It's fine, I cut him off, not wanting his pity. No, it's not fine. I've seen how they treat you. Even Emily. He stopped, his loyalty to his wife fighting with his conscience. Just, are you okay? Before I could respond, a crash came from upstairs, followed by Mom's voice. Sarah, could you come help? We're trying to move your dresser to make room for Emily's baby changing table. Tom winced. I should go help them before they break something. Too late, I mumbled, heading upstairs to find my jewelry box knocked over, its contents spread across the floor. Mom was already telling Tom to move my heavy wooden dresser while Emily watched from the doorway, baby in arms. Oh, good, you're here. While we're at it, we should really clean out your closet properly. Emily, show her the baby room ideas you created on Pinterest. Emily pulled out her phone excitedly. I'm thinking soft gray walls, a crystal light, a custom crib. You're planning to paint? I interrupted. Well, these beige walls are so old-fashioned, Emily wrinkled her nose. Don't worry, we'll have it done by professionals. You can just add it to your monthly bills. I bent down to pick up my scattered jewelry, finding the delicate bracelet Dad had given me for my 16th birthday broken in the mess. As I held the pieces, a notification popped up on my phone, a letter from the neighborhood association confirming the new owner's parking permits. Mom glanced over. What's that? Just junk mail, I said quickly, but not before she saw the neighborhood association logo. Her eyes narrowed slightly. Are you sure? It looked like... Sarah, Emily called from my bathroom. We need to clear all these cabinets. Where should we put your things? I put the broken bracelet in my pocket and forced a smile. The basement, I guess. Where else would they go? Mom studied me for a moment longer before turning back to direct more furniture movement. But I could tell the idea of something being wrong had been planted. 3 days left. Just 3 more days of this craziness. And then they'd all learn what happens when you push someone past their breaking point. Sarah, we need to talk. Mom stopped me in the laundry room the next morning, holding up the neighborhood association letter she'd clearly found in my purse. I kept folding towels, glad I'd thought about this moment. Probably for the new people moving in next door. The Smiths sold their house last month. Don't lie to me. Her voice took on that dangerous sweetness I knew too well. Are you selling this house? Mom, I'm late for work. I tried to step around her, but she blocked the doorway. Answer me. No, I'm not selling the house. Technically true, I'd already sold it. Now, please move. She slowly stepped aside, but I could feel her eyes burning into my back as I headed upstairs. In the kitchen, Emily was making a list of demands for the welcome dinner while Tom fed the baby. Sarah, Emily called out, I invited a few more people for the weekend. Hope that's okay. I paused. How many is a few? Just my college roommates. They're dying to see the baby. Oh, and their husbands. And Jane's bringing her kids. She tapped her pen against her lips. Maybe 8 more. 10 max. Where exactly do you expect them to sleep? Well, the living room has plenty of space for air mattresses, she said, as if this was the most reasonable thing in the world, and we could put some in your office. My office? I work from there. Oh, please, she rolled her eyes. You can work from the basement for a few days. It's not like you have a real job. Tom looked up sharply. Emily, that's not... Where's the liquor cabinet? Dad interrupted, walking in. We need more space in the dining room for the party, so I'm moving it to the garage. There is no liquor cabinet, I said through gritted teeth. Those are my personal bottles on the bar cart. Perfect. I'll use those for the dinner. He started gathering my expensive whiskey collection. Your mother wants to know if you finished clearing your closet yet. I checked my phone. A text from Lisa. Mr. Evans wants to do the check earlier tomorrow. Says 11 a.m. works better. Sarah? Dad was waiting for an answer. The closet's done, I lied, knowing it wouldn't matter in 36 hours. Good girl. He patted my head like I was still 12. Now, about the basement. We need to move your bed down there today. Aunt Carol just called. She's arriving tonight instead of Saturday. I nearly dropped my phone. Tonight? Yes, and she'll need the guest room, obviously. Mom swept in, still holding the neighborhood association letter. Tom can help you move everything after dinner. Tom looked up again. Actually, I wanted to talk to everyone about... Not now, honey, Emily cut him off. We need to talk about the seating arrangement for Saturday. Sarah, we'll need to borrow your credit card for the rental chairs. Absolutely not. The kitchen fell silent. I'd never said no to them before. Not like this. Not so strongly. Excuse me? Mom's eyes narrowed. I said, no. No more charges on my credit card. No more surprise guests. No more rearranging my entire life because you all think my home is a free hotel. Emily's mouth fell open. Why are you being so selfish? We're family. Family? I laughed. Family doesn't treat each other like this. Like what? Mom demanded. Like we're being a burden after everything we've done for you? Done for me? My voice rose. You've lived here rent-free for 5 years. You've maxed out my credit cards, judged my life choices, and now you're throwing a party I never agreed to. Keep your voice down, Dad warned. You're upsetting the baby. I grabbed my keys. I'm going to work. When I get back, I expect my whiskey collection exactly where it was, and no one better touch my office. Sarah, Mom started, but Tom stood up suddenly. No, let her go. His voice was quiet but firm. She's right. We've all been taking advantage, and it needs to stop. Emily gasped. I left before they could respond, but not before I heard Mom say, something's going on with her. Did you see this neighborhood association letter? She's hiding something. In my car, I texted Lisa. They're losing it. Mom found the letter. On it, she replied. Tell Mr. Evans tomorrow's check needs to be quick and quiet. How are you holding up? I started the engine, watching through the window as my family huddled in the kitchen, probably planning their next move. I'm fine, just ready for this to be over. 36 hours, she texted back. Then you never have to set foot in that basement. I pulled out of the driveway, noticing Mom watching from the window. Let her suspect, let her worry. In less than 2 days, they'll all learn what happens when you mistake kindness for weakness. And this is the master bedroom, I said quietly, leading Mr. Evans through my increasingly messy house. Though, as you can see, it's currently taken. Mr. Evans raised an eyebrow at the fancy baby items and Emily's clothes draped across my bed. I thought you said you lived alone. She does, Tom said from the doorway, making us both jump. Sorry, didn't mean to startle you. I'm Tom, her brother-in-law. He looked at me knowingly. This must be the friend who's moving in soon. Something like that, I managed, silently praying he wouldn't give away my secret. Just showing him around. Right, Tom's eyes moved between us. Well, your mom's looking for you. Something about needing your signature for a furniture delivery. What furniture delivery? But I already knew. Mom had probably ordered something ridiculous for the welcome dinner. A custom dining set, Tom confirmed. She said the old one wasn't suitable for Saturday's party. Mr. Evans checked his watch. I should get going. We'll finish everything tomorrow at 11. I nodded, walking him downstairs past Mom and Emily, who were moving my living room furniture for the party. Mom's eyes followed us suspiciously. Who was that? She demanded as soon as Mr. Evans left. Just a friend. Since when do you have male friends? Emily smirked. Is he single? Though he's probably not interested in someone so practical. Sarah, Mom cut in, about that dining set. No, I held up my hand. I'm not signing for anything. Cancel it. But the party is not happening, I snapped, then immediately regretted showing my hand. Mom's eyes narrowed. What do you mean, not happening? Of course it's happening. Everyone's already RSVP'd. To a party they weren't invited to, in a house that's... I stopped myself. In my house without asking me. Why are you being so difficult? Emily whined. It's for the baby. Everything's for the baby, I exploded. The master bedroom, the office, the living room changes, the furniture delivery, the constant stream of guests. When does it end? When you start acting like family, Mom said coldly. Speaking of which, we need to talk about this neighborhood association letter. I called them this morning. My blood ran cold. You did what? They wouldn't tell me anything, of course. It said the information was confidential. She crossed her arms. What are you hiding, Sarah? As if on cue, Dad walked in with another box of my things from upstairs. The basement's ready for your bed. Tom and I can move it down now. No, my voice was shaking. No more moving my things. No more taking over my spaces. No more... Sarah. Tom's quiet voice cut through my panic. He nodded toward the kitchen and I followed him thankfully. Once we were alone, he spoke softly. The house is sold, isn't it? That man wasn't your friend. He's the buyer. I stared at him, trying to decide how much to tell. It's okay, he continued. I've been watching how they treat you. I've tried talking to Emily about it, but he shrugged helplessly. Saturday, I whispered. He takes possession Saturday morning. Tom let out a low whistle. The same day as the party. They didn't exactly give me a chance to tell them. Fair point. He ran a hand through his hair. Look, I won't say anything, but you should know. Your mom's been making calls. She's suspicious, and she's not going to stop until she figures it out. As if on cue, Mom's voice carried from the living room. Yes, hello. I'm calling about property records for this address. Sarah, Emily called out. The caterers need a deposit. Where's your credit card? I pulled out my phone and texted Lisa. Mom's digging. We need to move faster. Her reply was instant. On it, moving truck coming tonight instead of tomorrow. Tell them you're giving away old furniture or something. Tom read the text over my shoulder and nodded. I'll keep them busy. He touched my arm gently. But Sarah, whatever happens tomorrow, know that at least one person in this family understands why you're doing this. Sarah, Mom's voice was getting closer. Why is there a moving truck company in your recent calls? I looked at Tom desperately. He squeezed my shoulder and walked out to stop her, saying loudly, Oh, that was me. I was checking prices for moving some of our old baby furniture. I slipped out the back door, texting Lisa again. Coming to your place now. Everything's falling apart. Her response made me smile for the first time that day. Let it fall. Sometimes you need to break something completely before you can build something better. 24 hours. Just 24 more hours until they all learned what happens when you mistake quietness for agreement. Saturday morning dawned bright and clear. I sat at my kitchen table, sipping coffee, waiting. The selling papers were signed. Mr. Evans would be here in exactly 15 minutes. Mom bustled in, already stressed about the party. Sarah, why aren't you dressed? The decorators will be here at 10 o'clock. No, they won't. I kept my voice steady, though my hands shook slightly around my mug. Of course they will. I confirmed yesterday. And the caterers come at 2, so we need to. The doorbell rang. That's odd, Mom frowned. It's too early for anyone to. I'll get it. Mr. Evans stood on my porch right on time, holding a folder of papers. Good morning, he said professionally. Ready to do this? Mom appeared behind me. Ready to do what, Sarah? What's going on? I stepped aside to let Mr. Evans in. Everyone should probably come downstairs. Who is this man? Why is there a moving truck outside? Mom's voice rose with each question. I'll explain everything. Just get everyone down here. 5 minutes later, my entire family sat in the living room. Dad looked confused. Emily was texting furiously about the party details, and Mom kept staring between me and Mr. Evans with growing suspicion. I sold the house, I said simply. The silence was deafening. What? Mom whispered. The house is sold. The closing was yesterday. Mr. Evans is the new owner and he takes possession. I checked my watch. Right now, actually. Emily dropped her phone. This is a joke, right? What about the party? What about the baby? Not my problem anymore. I pulled out the final paperwork. You all have 2 hours to pack your things and leave. You can't do this, Mom shrieked, jumping to her feet. We're your family. This is our home. No, I said firmly. This was my home. The home you invaded 5 years ago with promises of just a few months. The home you took over room by room, decision by decision, until I was sleeping in the basement to make room for everyone else's comfort. We had nowhere else to go, Dad protested. You had choices. You chose to take advantage of me instead. 5 years of no rent, no contributions, just criticism and demands. But the party! Emily was nearly crying. Everyone's coming. Where are we supposed to go? Not my problem. I turned to Mr. Evans. The house is yours. Do you need anything else from me? He shook his head, looking uncomfortable but firm. No, we're all set. Though I do need everyone out by noon so the moving company can start bringing in my furniture. This is illegal. Mom grabbed her phone. I'm calling our lawyer. Actually, Tom spoke up from the corner, it's not illegal. Sarah owned the house. You've never had a lease, never paid rent. Legally, you're just long-term guests who've stayed too long. Everyone turned to stare at him. You knew about this? Emily gasped. And you didn't tell me? I found out yesterday, he said quietly. And honestly, I don't blame her. How dare you? Mom pointed a shaking finger at me. After everything we've done for you. Everything you've done for me? I laughed. Let's list what you've done. Maxed out my credit cards, criticized my career, pushed me out of my own bedroom, invited endless guests without asking, treated me like a maid in my own home. Should I continue? Where are we supposed to go? Dad asked, his voice small. You could try getting a job, I suggested, or selling some of those fancy clothes you somehow still afford. Or asking your perfect daughter for help, since she's so much more successful than me. Emily burst into tears. Tom moved to comfort her, but she pushed him away. The moving truck will be here at noon, I said, picking up my purse. I suggest you start packing. Sarah, please, Mom tried one last time. We can talk about this, work something out. We had 5 years to work something out. You chose to take advantage instead. I walked to the door, then turned back. Oh, and Mom, remember last week when you said the basement would be fine for me because I'm practical? She stared at me, speechless. You were right. I am practical. practical enough to plan my escape from toxic people who mistake kindness for weakness. I smiled. Good luck with the party. I walked out, hearing the chaos start behind me. Emily's sobs, Mom's threats, Dad's confused protests. But over it all, I heard Tom's quiet voice. She gave you 5 years. You gave her no choice. In my car, I texted Lisa. It's done. Her reply came instantly. How do you feel? I watched through the windshield as my family frantically made calls, probably trying to find somewhere to go. 5 years of built-up anger finally released. I typed back, free. I finally feel free. I sat in Lisa's car across the street, watching the chaos unfold. Moving trucks lined the curb. Mr. Evans's movers were bringing his things in. My family's movers were taking theirs out. The irony wasn't lost on me. There goes your mom's fancy lamp collection, the ones she bought with your credit card. And there goes Emily's baby room furniture, still in the original packaging. My phone hadn't stopped buzzing since I left. Texts from relatives, mostly angry ones. Aunt Carol's was particularly colorful. 30 people are driving in for this party. How could you be so heartless? Oh, look, Lisa pointed. Your dad finally found his boxes of business magazines, the ones she swore would help him restart his career. I watched him walk down the driveway, shoulders slumped. For a moment, I felt a small pang. Not quite guilt, but something close. Don't, Lisa warned, reading my expression. Don't you dare feel bad about this. I don't. It's just nothing. They had 5 years to do the right thing. A commotion drew our attention back to the house. Mom was arguing with Mr. Evans on the front porch, waving papers in his face. Should we? Lisa started. Yeah, I sighed, getting out of the car. As we came closer, Mom's voice carried across the lawn. These receipts prove we've helped with this household. We have rights. Mrs. Johnson, Mr. Evans said calmly, grocery receipts charged to your daughter's credit card don't count as rent payments. Mom, I called out, stop embarrassing yourself. She spun around, mascara streaks on her face. How could you do this to your own family? Where's your sister supposed to go with a newborn? Maybe to her own house, I suggested, the one she and Tom actually own, but didn't want to use while they could stay here instead. That house needs work, Emily shouted, bouncing her crying baby. It's not ready. Not my problem anymore. I turned to Mr. Evans. I'm sorry about this. They'll be gone soon. Actually, Tom spoke up, phone in hand, I just booked us a short-term rental, 3 bedrooms, fully furnished, ready today. Emily stared at him. But that must cost. Yes, he cut her off. It does cost money. Amazing how that works when you actually have to pay for things yourself. Mom collapsed onto the porch steps, crying loudly. My own daughter throwing us out on the street. Oh, please, Lisa snapped. You have choices. You choose not to use them because it's easier to make Sarah feel guilty into supporting you. Dad emerged from the garage looking lost. The moving truck is full. They say we need another one for the rest. The rest of what? I asked, surprised. How much stuff did you collect in my house? Our house, Mom corrected automatically. No, Mr. Evans stepped in. Her house. And now my house. And it's noon. As if on cue, his moving truck pulled up. But the party! Emily tried one last time. All those people are your problem, I finished. Maybe you can host them at your actual house. You know, the one you own. Tom was already loading their suitcases into his SUV. Emily, come on, the rental's ready. Sarah, Dad said quietly, can we at least talk about this? We had 5 years to talk about it. You had 5 years to appreciate what I gave you, to show basic respect, to act like real parents instead of demanding house guests. I felt tears coming but pushed them back. Time's up. Mom stood suddenly, straightening her fancy blouse. Fine, but don't come crying to us when you realize what you've thrown away. What exactly have I thrown away? I asked. The privilege of being your personal bank? The joy of being criticized in my own home? The honor of sleeping in a basement while you gave away my bedroom? She had no answer for that. One by one, they got into their cars. Tom gave me a small nod as he helped Emily in. Dad couldn't meet my eyes. Mom stared straight ahead, lips trembling. As they drove away, Lisa squeezed my hand. You okay? I watched the cars disappear around the corner, followed by the moving truck full of 5 years' worth of their collected things. Behind us, Mr. Evans's movers started bringing in his furniture. Actually, I said, surprising myself, I am okay. My phone buzzed again, a message from Tom. For what it's worth, you did the right thing. They needed this wake-up call. Then another text from Mom. I hope you're happy with yourself. I looked at my old house, now Mr. Evans's house, and felt the weight of 5 years lifting from my shoulders. I am, I whispered, then typed it as my reply. I am happy with myself, finally. Lisa linked her arm through mine. Ready to go see your new place? Your furniture's already there. I nodded, turning away from the house for the last time, ready for my life to be my own again. The morning sun streamed through my condo's floor-to-ceiling windows as I sipped coffee on my balcony. My phone buzzed. Another message from Tom. Thought you'd want to know, his text read. Your parents finally signed a lease on an apartment. Emily's furious they didn't move in with her instead. I smiled, remembering the chaos of the past few weeks. The angry calls had slowly stopped. The relatives they sent to make me feel guilty had given up. Even Mom's dramatic social media posts about ungrateful children had lessened. My doorbell rang. Lisa stood there with breakfast bagels and a sparkle in her eye. You need to see this, she said, pulling out her phone. Your mom's latest Facebook post. I read it aloud. After much thought, I realize our actions may have caused recent family problems. Pride and feeling like we deserved things clouded our judgment. To our oldest daughter, we understand now what we took for granted. Keep reading, Lisa urged. While we cannot undo the past, we hope to rebuild connections through honesty and respect. Starting over is hard, but needed. We are learning tough lessons about living on our own and being responsible. Love, Mom. Wow, I breathed. That's unexpected. Check the comments, Lisa grinned. Emily had commented, Mom, what are you saying? Sarah's the one who left us. But Tom replied, No, Emily. Your parents lived rent-free in her house for 5 years while judging and controlling her life. Actions have results. My phone buzzed again. Dad. This time, I'm sorry. Not for the Facebook drama, but for real. We took advantage of your kindness and called it love. You deserved better. Are you going to respond? Lisa asked. I thought about it. Not yet. Words are easy. I need to see actions. Speaking of actions, she pulled up a real estate listing on her phone. Guess who's finally fixing up their house instead of making excuses? The photos show Emily's place getting serious updates. The comments revealed the truth. Tom had put his foot down, insisting they make their own home livable instead of relying on others. My doorbell rang again. This time it was a delivery, a small package from Mom. Inside was my broken bracelet from that day in my bedroom, fixed professionally. The note read, I broke this while taking over your space. Like this bracelet, some things can be fixed with time and effort, but only if both sides want to try. When you're ready, we'd like to earn back your trust. No demands, no guilt, no expectations. Just accountability and respect. Love, Mom. Well, Lisa raised an eyebrow. It's a start, I said carefully, but I'm not rushing back into anything. My phone lit up with a text from Tom. Your mom's in therapy, Dad's looking for jobs, Emily's working on it. You woke them all up. I watched the cars disappear, looking out over my new view. No more basement, no more guilt, no more giving up my peace for others' comfort. You know what the biggest change is? I told Lisa. The quiet. No one bursting into my space, judging my choices, demanding my resources. Freedom looks good on you, she smiled. Another text from Mom. We're learning to stand on our own feet again. Thank you for forcing us to remember how. I typed back, actions speak louder than words. Show me who you've become, not who you promised to be. Her response was immediate. We will for as long as it takes. Lisa read over my shoulder. You know, most revenge stories end with destruction. Yours ended with growth, not revenge, I corrected. Boundaries. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do for someone is stop letting them do their worst behavior. My phone buzzed one final time, an email notification. The blog post I'd written about my experience had gone viral. My parents lived rent-free in my house for 5 years. Here's how I finally took it back. The comments section was filled with similar stories, people finding courage in my words to reclaim their own lives. I smiled, remembering Mom's favorite saying, "Family is everything." She was right, just not the way she meant it. Family is everything, including the family you choose, the boundaries you set, and the strength you find when you finally stand up for yourself. So, Lisa said, ready to host a housewarming party? You know, one where you actually want the guests to be here? I looked around my peaceful, private space, my rules, my life. Yes, I said, but this time, I'm sending the invitations.